Hey guys, it's Oberstadt. In today's video, I'm going to be using, again, more of my single shadows. The last time I did a look with these, I used like the blue and the purple. I want to stick with like these pinks and like this green and yellow. And I have the LeLePosh singles to use. There's a green in here that I might use with the green and yellow look. And I have another green up here called Zest. So I'm going to be kind of dipping back and forth in between both of these palettes. I'm going to leave one on the counter. And I'm going to, just do two different eye looks with single shadows and see how the quality of these shadows are. I mean, like I said in some of the other videos, these are quite old. And these pinks are like very, very pastel. So I'm going to be working with like these shades here. This one's like a pink, peach shade. And we have a one matte, two shimmers, and a satin shade. And then this one's also a satin. And then here, this is a satin. This one is a matte. I've got Elope here, which is a matte shade. I've also got, I think that's Antelope. What are you? Oh, no, Mystify. It's a shimmer shade. And I have Zest, which is also a shimmer shade. So I'm just going to be playing with makeup today, and we'll see how powdery these are. I don't know how well this is going to turn out. But makeup is just for fun, and it just washes off. I mean, you just get one of these wet and it washes right off. I've got everything else done. Blush, bronzer, highlight, lip color, brows, concealer stuff. So I'm going to go for everything. I'm just going to do one eye at a time. And then we'll see how these go. And I'll do like a recap at the end on whether or not there's anything in here that I will be decluttering or not. I know from the last time I did a look with these, there's at least one, if not two shades that I might be decluttering. So I'm going to zoom you in and get started. All right, so the first shade is this Illusion shade. It's very, very pale. And then I'm probably going to go into this one, which is Twirl. And then I have Funkytown. And the other, oh, I just stuck my finger in Free Spirit. This one here is Acrobat. And the other pink I've got right here that's more like a peach shade is Daring. So working with the lightest matte shade. I can't even get product to pick up on a fluffy brush. I'm gonna try using my 103 brush from BH and see if I can scrub at the top layer. There we go. Oh, that's very light. It's like a pinky hue of my skin color. Very pastel baby pink shade. I could probably get away with setting my face with this because it's so pale. Alright, so I think I'm going to take this into Twirl. And since most of these are shimmers, we don't know. And I've got Prissy, I think it's Prissy, in the other, in LeLePosh. I might just use as well. Well, that barely did anything. All right, going into Funkytown. Other than some fallout on my nose, the shimmers seem to be working better than some of the matte shades. But like I said in the last video, some of these shadows are like 10 years old. Some of them are only like 8 years old. But again, anything over like 5, I would question on whether or not they're going to like work. I've got like massive amounts of fallout. Alright, I think I'm going to take this little Luxie 245 and get it wet. And I have a little lid here with water in it, and I shake the water off, and then I just kind of massage it on my hand to make sure that the bristles are wet, but not like soaking wet. I'm going to go into this shade down here, which was Daring? Acrobat. Daring was the one above it. I'm going to put that over here. color switching it, re-dipping it in water, and then rubbing on my hand. I'm gonna dip into the LeLePosh shade, which should be Prissy. Yeah, it is. It's this one right here. And then taking the product off the brush again, now I'm going to go into this like peachy shade and I'm going to pop that in the center of my lid. Try and pick some of that up on my finger. Just gives it just a little bit of difference. And then I'm just going to come up here and blend just a little bit. And then for a liner, I'm going to take the BH Shimmer Pearl, and then I'm going to do mascara. Fails, I get mascara on my lid. And it looks like I got some on my face and my hole. Alright, so there is look one. And I will zoom you guys in and see this up close in just a second. Now on to eye number 2. We have Queen Bee, Elope, Pistachio. This one is, I just read it right now. Mystify is up here. So there's 4 in there I want to try and use. And then in here, we have Zest up here, and then Serpentine from LeLePosh. LeLePosh's one is like a black-based shade, so I'm going to see how dark that is. But, you know, we'll see. So I think I'm going to start off with Pistachio, which is a satin shade. And I think I'm going to pull a Lauren May BBD. I think I'm going to take Queen Bee. I'm going to clean off my little brush. I'm going to get my brush wet, even though this is a Bold Effects eyeshadow. I just want it ever so slightly damp. I'm going to dip into the yellow shade, which is Queen Bee. And I'm going to put this right here. Okay, this isn't as vibrant as it used to be. This is one reason why I decided to pull a lot of these shadows for February Shop My Stash, because some of these are so old. And it's funny, the shimmer shades are still like beautiful, but the matte shades and stuff don't seem to they don't seem to have enough pigmentation to them anymore because they're so old. I think I needed this yellow for a cosplay look a bunch of years ago. Alright, so the battery died while I was applying the yellow shade. I went ahead and took an angled dry brush and tried to like build it up, but it's not wanting to build up at all. And I used the other end of this to try and like get it to build up just a little bit more, but it's just not, it's way too old. So that is going on my to declutter list. Figured I'd better mark it. Now I think what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to take that fluffy brush again. I'm going to take Pistachio off of it. And I'm going to dip into Zest and Serpentine at the same time. So I'm going to swipe into here and then swipe into here to like lighten that up. Because Serpentine is quite dark. And I've got Zest all over my face. Color switch the brush really quick, and I'm going to dip into the other palette that has Pistachio in it and just blend up above Serpentine a little bit. I think with my finger I'm going to go into that Mystify shade. Just wanted a little bit of color there. And then just taking the brush that I used the yellow on, I'm going to pick up Serpentine on this angled brush and go right up above my lash line. I drug it out into a faux wing. And then I'm going to run it right up underneath my lower lashes as well. I'm going to take the CoverGirl Intensify Me liquid liner and kind of like help the wing. And I covered it over the Serpentine. Serpentine is inside that wing. So I think what I'm going to do, taking this little brush, I'm going to get it wet and wipe it off on the Fab Letters cloth to get some of the yellow off. And I'm like pinching it pick up some of that Serpentine shade and then dip it in the water and then shake off the excess. And then just go back in and fill in the wing and make it a little bit more punchy. And if you color outside the lines, just use your fingernail to clean it up. And it looks like the little bit of dampness on the brush made the liner bleed. It's like the pen is drying out or something. I don't get it. Way more extreme than I wanted, but that's okay. Alright, so this is the finished look for this, and I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see it, even though the wing is a little big. So going over the looks, if I can zoom you out. I know that the first shade up here I'm going to be getting rid of, so that's on my chopping block. The yellow Queen Beach shade is also on the chopping block, and the Elope shade is just way too light for me to use for anything other than one of those blend out shades. I might just move this into like a face palette kind of like situation because it's like my skin but peachier. It blends into my skin almost completely. It's just a little bit more peach than my skin. So what I think I'm gonna do is put that in with my like regular, you know, like makeup for my face. The Pistachio shade, I'm surprised, is still about as the same as it was when I first opened it. I have the pink shades and stuff are things that I've used quite a bit, and I'm surprised that there's not more pan in them because of how much I've used them. The Zest shade, I think I'm going to move this into like a highlighter part of my collection because that's usually all I use this for is a highlighter. It is a beautiful like light icy green shifting highlighter shade, and I think I use it more for that than anything else. And plus, I mean, it's an eyeshadow. I can use it for highlight, I can use it for inner corners. I've used it to tap on my lips before, so I'm just gonna move that into that type of thing. I also use the LeLePosh, the Prissy shade and the Serpentine shade. I love this Serpentine shade. It is so freaking beautiful, but I got a little carried away with the wing. I did mix Zest and Serpentine to get like the majority of the lid color. And then I used Mystify, which is the one up here. And I just kind of popped it in the center. It doesn't really show up a whole lot, to be honest, it doesn't. And you literally have a night and day kind of look. Out of here, the only shades I haven't used this month yet is this one here and Rockstar, which is up here. Those two shades I haven't used in a look yet. And then out of this one, I haven't used Dark Angel in a look either. So I've got like 2 purples and a red, and maybe I'll just do 2 looks, multiple same shades to like create something with those. That way I will get use out of them. So that might be something I record tomorrow. Because I'm actually recording about 4 hours later than I usually do right now. Usually I record between like 4:30 and 6 a.m. and right now it's like noon. So yeah, I'm still surprised at how well the shimmers, yes, they are crumbly. They, like when you go to swatch them and stuff, they still pick up pigment like really well, but when you stick a brush in them, they are very powdery. You can expect a lot of like fallout from the shades. And let me pick up the Daring shade on my pinky. You're so light you don't even want to show up. But they are more crumbly than they were initially when I first started using them years ago. And there are the shades for the pink eye. So they still have really good pigmentation to them. They're just more powdery than they were 5+ years ago. Other than like the matte shades, the shimmer shades, I haven't had any problems with them not working that great. But the matte shades and stuff, just for an example, this is the brush that I used for both Pistachio and this shade. When you dig a brush in this, it's like there's a little bit of kickback, but it takes forever for it to like load onto the brush, and it's super like hard to get product off of it, and it's very powdery. So even though you're working and working and working and working and working to get product, and then you go to use it on the skin, and there's so much like powder kickback on it that it just kind of goes everywhere, and the brush still has product in it. Let me just... I was able to cover the entire top of my hand with that brush load. But it's like very powdery, and it like goes all over my face. And if I didn't worry about that, then I would be okay with keeping these. But again, like yesterday I recorded a look with these like blue shades, and I had this blue right here. Literally this entire side of my face was nothing but blue. Now granted, I love blue, but the fact that I'm like wearing it everywhere, it was bad. I had it like all over my nose, it was on my brows, it was in my like actual hair. I had blue in my ear. I was like, how did I get eyeshadow in my ear? Don't get me started. So that's why I'm going through and using some of these single shades. I will be continually going through like next month I will pull whatever single shadows. I'll pull a few from like other brands, and then I will stick my single shadows in there until the palettes are full, just so I can get to use all of them at least once before I make a final decision. And then I will probably come back and record a like updated single shadow declutter once I've had a chance to like use all of them at least once or twice more to get a feel for them and how they work. That way I'm not throwing away perfectly good shadows, and I'm not keeping shadows in my collections that are too old or too powdery or not enough pigmentation, that kind of thing, where it's just, they're just so old that they're just not working the way they initially did. So that's why I'm like trying to get use out of these. And then I'm also using the LeLePosh ones because they're beautiful. Oh my God. I've got Prissy right here on my lid, and then I've got Serpentine over here, and they're just absolutely beautiful shades. And so I can't wait to see what she restocks in a month or so when she restocks. And I know I won't have money to buy it, but I'm just super excited to see what she's working on. There's a couple of blue shades that she makes that I'm really like drooling over. So we'll see. I've got some purples from her and a pink or two and one green, and so hopefully I can pick up some greens and a blue, and if she makes red shades I would probably pick up those. And yeah, so I'm excited to see what Dina is making, and hopefully you guys like these looks, and I will see you in another video very soon. Have a fantastic day or night wherever you are. Bye.